Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do DOC sampling from our Niskin. First of all, I assemble my buckets. So I got my bucket here. I'm going to sit on this bucket while I drain water from the Niskin into this bucket through my little schnoodle here, which has a quick release little clip that clips onto the Niskin bottle, and a little 25mm filter holder. Now, this schnoodle, this filter holder, the tweezers I'm going to use, make sure they all stay separate from the rest of the sampling gear. These guys are for DOC only, and we'll rinse them every night with a little bit of acid to make sure we get the contaminants off. And you don't want to get these guys contaminated. DOC is very, very, very easy to get contaminated. DOC samples are very easy to get contaminated. Okay, so in here I have, or rather than being in aluminum foil, you just keep this in a Ziploc, in a box away from the other stuff. My DOC only tweezers, nice. In my little package here is a 25mm pre-combusted GFF glass fiber filter, the same filters that we use for our particular organic matter samples. However, with the particular organic matter samples, we actually keep the filter. In this case, we're keeping the liquid and discarding the filter. And then last of all, I have my acid washed, rinsed, dried, high density polyethylene wide mouth DOC bottle. Alright, and my Niskin sitting here on the bed. Alright, so first of all, what I do is I'm going to put a filter into my filter holder. Alright, so take my tweezers, trying not to get my fingers all over absolutely everything. See how I'm holding my tweezers from the end? Okay. Then I just grab my little filter. There are two in here. Separate them out without handling them too much. Fold that back up, get it back into the envelope so it doesn't get contaminated. Then I take this little bad boy, put it in here. Done. Then putting my tweezers back over here, I take this, I line up my teeth. Tighten that down. Don't over tighten these. It's like a particular organic matter sample. You don't want filter. You don't want to over tighten, or else you will get no flow. Okay. Then I put my little schnoodle on. Good. Put my aluminum foils out of the way. Seal everything up as much as I can. Okay. Seal that up. Okay. Let me sit down. Now, what I do then is I take my Niskin bottle. I connect my schnoodle to the bottom. And then what I do, you see it's already flowing. Okay, then what I do is I just rest the Niskin half on, half off the bench. Hold it. Now, next thing to do, actually I'll show you this closer up. The way that I hold my DOC bottle lid, I take my DOC bottle like this. I hold it in my hand. I unscrew the cap using my index finger and my thumb. I then hold the cap off to the side, face down, so that nothing will end up landing on the inside of this cap. Also notice I have a gap between my hand and the bottle, so that my thumb is not touching the thread or anything like that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to triple rinse this bottle by holding it under the stream of water coming through the filter, and I'm going to fill it up like a centimeter to about there. Then I'm going to place the lid back over, and see how I haven't screwed it in at all? I'm just holding it over it. I shake it up and down like that quite vigorously, and I want water to go everywhere. I want to get covered in water. This is not, DOC is not a time to have an iPhone in your pocket, you know what I'm saying? Okay, so what I want to do is I want to do that 3 times, lift it off, add some water, put it back on, shake it. Do that 3 times, right? Then once I've triple rinsed it and I fill this bad boy 2/3 full, what I do is I place the lid back on, and using my thumb I screw it closed, right? So see how I'm keeping my fingers as far away from contaminating the sample as possible? It actually starts to build muscle in the back of your hand, a very weird movement. But make sure you do it that way, right? Keep the lid face down, just put it across like this. Make sure when you rinse, do your triple rinse, shake it like crazy. Make sure that water goes everywhere, okay? You wanna rinse the thread, you wanna rinse the inside of the cap, rinse the whole thing. Okay, sweet. All right, what we're gonna do here is I'm just gonna connect my little schnurr, like so. I'm gonna stand her up, like so. I like to have my strap way at the back out of the way. Then I sit down here, holding my cap on the whole time. I haven't got it held over to the side right now. I just hold it over the top, make sure nothing gets in. Okay. Then I'll take it off to the side. What I want to do, actually first, is I don't want to run like 100 mils through. So what I do to do that is I put my finger over the neck clip at the top, way up here, my middle finger, and I just push down on it to release more flow through the system. Start catching. Now because this is a smaller filter than usual, it's going to take a while longer. Now I don't know if you noticed in there, but I got water sprayed all over the side of the bucket when I did this. It's all over my hand. Okay. Go back for a second, rinse here. Sure. Okay. Good. All over my feet. So I've done my 3 rinses and now I just fill it up. Now on the ship, you may be moving from side to side, but because I have my schnoodle so short, it doesn't swing very much. If you start to find you have a problem with that, just shorten your schnoodle by cutting the tubing. So I'm just going to fill that up. Let's pretend we're done. I close that up, I put it to the side here, I release this from underneath, and then I put my Niskin aside, or I put it into my water chemistry set, stand it up, ready to go. Okay, and then once I've done all these, I go over and I start doing my water chemistry. Now, this schnoodle can be passed from Niskin to Niskin. Just make sure you rinse it with 200 mils of water, just to make sure everything's out of the system before you fill up and start rinsing the next one. Okay. Then what you want to do to break it down is I grab my schnoodle like this, I flick it out, get as much of that water out as I can, place it back in my aluminum foil. Then I break this open. And notice how I'm not handling the inside of the filter holder. And I pull that filter off. So it's done. Okay. Put my stuff back in there. Close this back down. Okay. That goes to live back in the schnoodle. I'll rinse that with acid to make sure I get any contaminants off it. This then goes into the freezer. Everyone's good. Now you can take your gloves off if you're done, or if you're about to start water chemistry, keep your gloves on. Thank you.